Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for our weekly energy reading for the third week in September. And yeah, we are moving through this month fast. This has been a month of the mind, like a breakthrough of the ego and the mind. So normally it gets louder and louder and louder, and then the ego starts to fall away or dissolve, or you might have an ego death. It is the latest new moon kind of was like shining a light on the aspects of ourselves that are too much in our head, and we're creating false stories. So we're making a tiny situation in our lives 10 times worse because the mind is taking that little bit of evidence and it's making it bigger than it really needs to be. Like, for instance, I had a client the other night who her husband received a text from another woman and it was nothing, but her mind took it to a whole nother level. And the fight lasted like a week and it was chaos and it was all her ego. And it was the trauma from her childhood speaking through her ego, fearing betrayal, lies, abandonment. So that's coming up this month. So if you feel like you've been battling your mind a lot this month, which I have been too, it's natural and it's part of the healing journey. So let's open up sacred space. I didn't get a chance to do it yet. So we're going to call in our guides, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron. Please open sacred space. Please only allow the highest and whitest light messages to come through. Bless me, bless my cards, bless my viewers. And we're going to do, I actually brought out a relationship reading today. So we're going to do a relationship reading, whether it's for twin flames, for soulmates, all kinds of counterparts, whatever you believe in. All right, let's get this puppy started. Thank you, my man Mike and my man Meta. And I also have a little bit of coffee this morning with my little Micah. This is my daughter, for those of you that are new to my channel. She was born with a muscle disorder back in 2012, hence the oxygen and her feeding tube. This is one of my favorites. Her eyes are just so big here. And she was always rocking hats and bows and penguin hats. We kept her, the nurses said she was the best dressed baby in the NICU. I was like, that's my girl. I had to give her a little bit of a personality. But anyway, she passed away on August 29th of 2012. So she was only here for 6 weeks. But I feel like I've spent millions of lives with her. I just feel her and I don't even know her. I don't know what she would sound like. I don't know what she would look like, but I just feel a deep sense of longing for her, and I can't explain it. So it's kind of like a child being born and maybe they lose their parent during childbirth. Maybe the mom passes away, or maybe the dad passes away when they're 1 or 2 years old and they just don't know. They could probably watch videos and see pictures of the person, but it's like this deep knowing that you just love this person unconditionally. You don't understand why, because you didn't know them. That's the best way I can describe the sense of loss that I feel in my body every single day. And also I felt guided. I was thinking about this as I was prepping my space. Cheers to Micah, and cheers to anybody else that's lost a loved one, or many. They are with you and they love you, and they are bringing you your special gifts in this lifetime, which she's brought me mine. But as I was prepping my space, I was thinking about last night, and I spent the night watching Field of Dreams. And I specifically just happened to be thinking about my dad, who passed away in 2021. And I was scrolling through, I think it was Netflix, or maybe it was even YouTube. Sometimes I have movies that come across my YouTube because I've watched movies before. I think it was YouTube. And A Field of Dreams came on. And I was just like, this is my dad's favorite movie ever. He would watch it over and over and over again. And I'd come home at night in high school. It'd be like, midnight. I'd come in from being out with my friends, and he'd be like passed out on the couch sleeping with Field of Dreams on the TV. That would happen so many times. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this movie by myself just to like feel like I'm with my dad again. And this message is for somebody out there. When you have things come across your feed or your YouTube, or it comes across on the TV and you just feel like it's your loved one reaching out to you, it is. Okay. And they're sending you a message. So watch it or sit with it or journal about it. So the message that I got was, as I was watching this movie, you know, my dad and I always would talk about like, you know, what created us. And he didn't necessarily like fully believe in God, but he didn't fully believe in the universe like I do now. But he always had some sort of belief or wondering where did we all come from. And he never, like, we would have some deep conversations, but they wouldn't go too deep. But it would just, he would bring it up and we would talk about it. And now that I am spiritually awakened and he's no longer here, it's hard for me because I'm just like, man, we could have had so many more conversations about that kind of stuff. And he did know the work that I was doing before he passed. And he wasn't always, he never asked me questions about it, about intuitive readings. And I would go see mediums to connect with my daughter. And he would always ask me, like, what did they tell you? How was it? But I could sense he like wasn't sure if he fully believed it. So I'm watching this movie last night, and every part of this movie is about faith and about the universe and listening to a call. You know, Kevin Costner hears a voice to build it, and they will come to build the baseball field. And these ghosts baseball players are going to come back to life and play on the field, and it's going to save his farm one day. And he doesn't know the end result, but he's just taking breadcrumb and breadcrumb and breadcrumb. And that's what I teach on my channel. So I'm sitting there watching this movie last night, and I'm totally going to get emotional talking about it, but I was sensing like it was all about following your dreams, right? And not staying stuck where you are. Maybe it's in a marriage or in a relationship or at a career. Like Kevin Costner, he could have sold he could have sold his farm and gave up on that dream of what the unknown was. What was his call? What was his voice he was hearing? And I got so emotional watching the movie because I was so sad for my dad, because my dad never followed his dream. His dream was baseball. He was an incredible baseball player. He played in the College World Series in college. They traveled out west for it. It was the love of his life was baseball. And he gave up that dream to do the 9 to 5 job, to raise 4 kids, and he did it for us. And I just was like thinking about him watching that movie every night, not every night, but on most nights, and him wishing and feeling a connection to that movie. There's certain lines in that movie where it talks about like believing in something and never giving up on your dreams, and just the heart like felt connection between two people loving each other, and the bond of men playing a sport together and supporting each other, and that feeling when a rookie steps on the field and hits a great hit and everyone's cheering him on, like that sense of like community. Like my dad was yearning for that, but yet he was home on the couch just watching it on a TV instead of living it. And I was watching this last night, like so sad for my dad and his life, and like he didn't chase his dreams, and he didn't believe that he could take a leap of faith, or he didn't believe he didn't know how. He was not taught how to follow your heart, how to follow your intuition. And I just started crying so much because I was just like, I was so proud of myself. And then I had this moment where I just audibly heard my dad say shush. He used to call me shush Nabella. And he just was like, you're doing it for me. And then I lost it because I was just like, did I just create that? Did I really just hear him? And it was like, he is so proud of me that I'm chasing my dreams and I'm doing what I love. And I started my YouTube channel and I quit my teaching job and I didn't care what anybody thought. And I'm waiting for the best love of my life. I'm not settling. I'm not going to stay in a marriage or situation that's unhealthy or that's filled with narcissism. And I just want to say this, that I want to motivate all of you, that I've seen somebody go through their life and not chase their dreams, and I've seen how their life ends. and it is not pleasant, and it was painful and drawn out and filled with illness and sadness and depression. Please don't stay stuck in your lives doing things that you don't love. Please chase your dreams, follow your heart. If you feel a call to leave something or to do something, you have to do it. You came here to do it in this lifetime. And there's so many people who've done it before, where you can watch videos and learn and maybe book a mentor and they can help you take the step. My dad didn't have the help. He didn't have access to anybody that could help him leave a relationship or leave the job or whatever it was that his heart really wanted to do. He was just doing what society told him to do. And he was just a great people pleaser, and he was the nicest man on the planet, but he never chose himself. And my message today is for all of you to not make that same mistake. Not saying my dad's life was a mistake at all. There's so much good, but I do feel like there's a lot of deep regret and grief that I feel that he didn't get to experience certain dreams in his life. So this is your call to action. Follow your dreams, and don't people please. Don't stay somewhere just because you're going to upset somebody else if you make a move and leave, because that was the biggest thing for him. So cheers to that. Cheers to Micah for teaching me to follow my dreams, to do this, to open up my gifts. But essentially, my dad maybe never fully opened up his gifts that he came to earth with. There's so much more to him, and baseball was his true love. So watching that movie last night was like a wake-up call for me to just be like, I'm never settling. I'm never going to stay stuck in something for other people, or just because I'm afraid of what people will think. I literally just looked at my wall and it says, be the girl who decided to go for it. And I know my dad is with me right now, high-fiving me, saying, F yeah, shush, you're doing it. You're going against the grain. You're not like the rest. He always used to tell me I wasn't like the rest of my siblings, and that I was here to do something bigger. And he's just like, I can just feel it. He's like, you're not like the rest. And I wish he was here right now so he could see all that I'm doing. But fun fact, I'm going to get to the cards soon. Sorry for the delay. The night that he passed, I was with him when he passed. Everyone just happened to leave the hospital. I happened to be in the room for about 45 minutes between when my sister left and when my brother was going to come and stay the night with my dad. And he transitioned in that 45 minutes. I had beautiful instrumental music playing. I was reading an excerpt from one of my favorite books called Journey to the Heart. I had a little angel, one of Micah's little knit angels on his heart. I had crystals on his chest. And at this point, he wasn't awake. He was just on morphine, and I was just paying attention to his breathing. And I was reading to him, and all of a sudden I started to see his breathing get more shallow. And the same thing happened with my daughter. We were in like a room, in a hospital room, and she was on morphine, and I was just watching her breathing, and they both passed away the same way. So I happened to be with my dad when he transitioned, which was such a gift. And he passed away at 8:18. So he always used to say, I love you to infinity and beyond, or infinity. No, I love you to Pluto and back times infinity. That's what he used to say. I can't believe I messed that up. So the eights, he died at 8:18. So I always see the eights. If you flip it sideways, there's an eight, a line. It's like two infinity symbols. So I always thought that was pretty synchronistic. But on my drive home that night, they say that when people pass, the spirit lingers for 3 to 4 days before it fully transitions and goes to the light. And I was in my Jeep driving home, and all I heard was, shush, is this the work you do now? Because he saw what I was doing when I helped him transition. And it was like he could see my readings, he could see all the things that I've been doing prior to that spiritually, all the spiritual work with my mentor. And it's like in my car, he literally said, this is what you do. I am so proud of you. I didn't know it. I'm so sorry that I didn't acknowledge it. It's like his soul was speaking outside of his personality, his ego. And he was finally acknowledging all the stuff I'd been doing that we didn't connect with in the 3D, like in our lives. He wasn't really asking me about my readings, and he was so disconnected and in his own world, just working on a loop every single day. We didn't have that, those deep talks anymore. The last 5 years of his life, he was very disconnected. And that's why I was saying, like, please don't stay stuck in situations or not doing what you love, because the end part of your life is going to feel terrible. It's not, you're not going to be living your mission. You're not going to be doing what you're meant to be doing. And it's a painful experience. And I've watched somebody else go through it, and I refuse to let myself or to let others do the same thing. And I think my dad is part of my mission, and I was meant to experience that, and he was meant to go through that to teach me so that I could teach you. So even with Micah, I feel like it's all learning and lessons and people sacrificing their experience here to help make us better. So hearing him say that on the drive home was pretty magical. It was the first time I heard something audibly. I had never been, I could never hear, but I'm not clairaudient. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, was it just that one time? And I still, like, sometimes I hear knocking, but I've never heard anything so clear that night. Like, he was in my car talking to me. So shout out to anybody else who's had an experience like that, where it's just so esoteric and you're like, what is going on? I don't know if I believe in this. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So let's get started with the cards. So we're going to do a relationship reading. We're going to start with Micah Magic and just get some baseline messages. Holy cow. Okay. We have a ton. I feel like I'm just going to do a little spread. An ending to a new beginning. 10-10, a cycle is completing. 1, 2, 3, 4, things will start to shift. Looks like lots of movement. Cleanse your energy. There's 3 more. Call that person. Chase your dreams. Don't settle. Make a joy list. Your current energy is creating your future. Okay, so with make a joy list and this card, these two are kind of the same. It's saying, do you even know what your current energy is? How are you feeling right now? What brings you joy? What can you do to go shift out of that energy? And that's also considered cleansing. So finding your joy, cleansing, and your current energy is creating your future. Those 3 cards are saying you're in charge of creating your life. Not to use my dad as an example all the time, but like, his life was on autopilot. Wake up, go to work, come home, eat, cut the grass, go to sleep. And it was just this very, there's no creativity, there's no breaking through your fears, there's no challenging yourself. It's just, I stay the same, I stay comfortable, and I stay in addictions. And that's not creating. Your soul came here to create. So your current energy, are you staying steady? Are you staying neutral? Are you not pushing yourself? Or are you dreaming big and sitting down and going, what do I want? How do I want to experience life? If I were to die tomorrow, what would I want to do today? And a lot of times that can bring all of this. You start to dream, and you plant the seeds, and the universe responds, and it brings you what you're meant to do. And that those things kind of have to fall away. Your old life has to fall away. The job, the person, the relationship. So when you see this card, who are you thinking about? Who is that sweet name in your head that you're thinking about calling? Where you're like, I have to explore this. I cannot die without exploring this partnership. And you make sure it's from a space of love and not from ego. Ego is fear. So if you're thinking about staying with somebody because you fear your finances, that should be your answer, that you should leave that situation because you're staying for the wrong reasons. When it says call that person, that means love, unconditional love. When you think of this person, do you think of acceptance? Do you think of allowance? Do you think of laughter? Do you think of playful energy? Do you think of sexy energy? Do you think of friendship and pure acceptance of who you are? then you should call them. If you think about all of those things, call that person. Okay, let's get some cards on your special person and what they would want to say to you. This is the Hidden Truth Oracle. What would your special person want to say to you? First one, I left you when I saw you with someone else or with someone. And I just burped a couple times, excuse me. So a lot of times people, they will fear being with you if it is that intense loving bond, because they don't feel good enough. They feel like you're going to be happier with somebody else. It's like they assign you to somebody else so that they don't get hurt. And sometimes they think they leave because it's so painful to see you with somebody else. I know that's a pattern for me. I left you before you could leave me. Just being near you is intoxicating. So these two are interesting. It's almost like somebody, so say you met and then they saw you with somebody else, but you weren't thinking about that person romantically, but they created a story in their head that you like that person. So then they left, kind of retaliated, and then they went off with somebody else. And you're still in their presence or in their mind or in their auric field, and they're realizing that, oh crap, this person's still on my radar. I still love them. They're intoxicating. I need them. What else? I wish I could take back my words. Maybe they said that they just wanted to be friends. Maybe they put you on a back burner. Maybe they thought it was just lust. Because a lot of times this energy can feel like just a sexual attraction and they don't realize that you're like really good friends. Because most, especially with men, most men can't see past the physical until they realize that, oh my gosh, like I rely on this person a lot. I share my feelings with them a lot. They're kind of like a best friend. And then they're like blown away because they're like, wait, can I have it all? Can I have the best friend and the sex and the chasing the dreams together kind of energy? I look for you everywhere. This could be on social media. Maybe they're seeing you everywhere. Maybe they see men or women that look like you, that dress like you. I hid who I really am from you. They tried to hide their patterns. They tried to hide their truth. Maybe they didn't have it all together. And they replay your conversations. Oh, another card just fell. I don't know where that came from. And I don't react when people mention you. So they sit tight and they don't say anything and they try not to have a facial expression. They're just stone cold because they don't want anyone to know that they love you. They're replaying the conversations. When you guys start to have telepathy with your twin or your soulmate or anybody, you can kind of sense when they're thinking of you because you'll think of them out of nowhere. Or maybe you'll start to have thoughts that you realize are not really yours, but you're just like, why am I thinking about this right now? Or why I was on a client call the other day with a twin flame and we were talking about how his twin, he was feeling a sense, oh, what was it? What did he say? It was something about he was wanting to leave the city that he lives in. Yeah, that's what it was. He was wanting to leave where he lives. And I was thinking, I wonder if his twin is thinking that and she wants to come back to where he is because they're in separate states. And he kept on feeling like he's displaced, like he's not supposed to be where he is, but yet his kids are there, his ex is there. He can't really leave right now. His business is there. But I was like, maybe you're picking up her energy and the telepathy is she's wanting to come be with you and she feels trapped where she is. So sometimes your energies match. You're thinking simultaneously the same thing, but sometimes it's like more intense. You can feel it more. You really feel like you have to take action, but it's not your action to take, it's their action to take. Let's do a couple more. What else does your counterpart want to say to you? I regret lying to you. This could be lying about how they felt about the connection. This could be lying about a cheating energy. Maybe they've just lied to you over and over and over again because they at first didn't think you were anything to them. They just thought you were this like sexual connection. Then they ran away, maybe went with somebody else, maybe got married. And then they said, let's just be friends, which twin flames can't just be friends. Side note, the passion is too intense. You can't not be around each other and not want to touch each other. And then now they're realizing that you are it. And now they have to hide it because they don't want to feel stupid for not noticing it before. So it's like they can't win either way because they've created all of this chaos now because they went with somebody else, which hurt you. And now if they come back, they feel like if they have to keep lying because if they're honest, then that means they're going to hurt you even more and they don't want to hurt you. But in the beginning, they're just not quite awake when they're doing the lying. They're not awake to the connection. They don't understand it. And sometimes you don't even understand it. I know so many people who watch my channel and are like, I don't know if this person's my twin or not. So if you're questioning it, then that means they are too. So have compassion for both parties because we're all trying to find our place, but our place is with us. Like, who are we? How can we love ourselves? And when we stay in ourselves and we stay doing what we love and we're on our mission, being creative, sharing our gifts and not living this mundane life that other people have lived, that's when the person comes in because you're living in your truth. And when you're in your truth, that awakens the other person and then they start to see you. It's like somebody takes a blindfold off and they're looking at you going, wait, I thought this was just like, some hot guy or hot chick that I was attracted to. Why do I feel like I need them now to survive? I need their energy. They're my life force. They motivate me. They give me so much juice to go on and like it. When you're with your twin, you just feel like you can attack the world. You feel like you want to change the world. They make you better. You start to speak differently. You start to want to dress your body up and feel good about yourself. And it's not something they're physically saying or doing. It's just their essence of who they are that activates you. That's why it's a spiritual connection. So they regret lying to you. Let's get some tarot now. I love using the Light Seers Tarot when we're doing twin flame or relationship readings. First one, this is going to be an equal partnership. You're both going to be equally wanting to love each other with the same compassion, with the same forgiveness. You're both always going to apologize to each other. You're going to stop fighting before it even occurs. You're going to speak your truth and get it out. But this is equal give and take. It's a balanced connection. Yeah, fiery passion. We have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is usually like in other decks, it can be like an F-boy energy, kind of like a player energy. So this is almost signifying like the player energy is falling away. They're no longer addicted to porn, or maybe they're no longer addicted to men or women or chasing people. Now they're finally grounded in this queen or king energy. They're in this little seance with a cat by their feet. They're like, I made it. They're like, I got rid of this the player energy, and I'm finally a king or queen. I don't entertain all the BS around me. I'm not swayed by a good time. This is a good time energy. There's like no depth. There's just fast movement. Like, yeah, let's hop from person to person and let's hook up and let's party and let's do all these fun things. That's this energy. And that's no longer existing because now you're in this energy. You understand the true meaning of life and it's your connection to you. She is in a seance with herself. She came home to who she is, and now she knows she has the world at her fingertips she can create and muster up so much goodness with the universe by her side. And now she has this new sense of passion for life, because this sense of passion is short lived. Yeah, you hook up with somebody and then what? You're on to the next. And then you're never fulfilled. This is deep fulfillment, deep passion, connection. Okay. I've never read both of those cards together before like that. So I like that message. I've never done that before. Never heard that from spirit. Okay, we have 8 of Pentacles. Somebody's wanting to better their finances. They're wanting to build something, create something. They're wanting to use their special gifts. And it's like she's sitting there and she's got all these things on the table, but she doesn't know where to start. She's staring, she's candle gazing. Can you see her staring at that one candle? She's like, I have all these ideas and I have all these talents. And my phone's ringing. Confirmation. Confirmation. Oh, somebody just put, girl, you look smoking today on my YouTube. Thank you. I think they're commenting on maybe a short or a video. But anyway, somebody's wanting to create more abundance in their life and they have all these special talents and gifts, but they don't know where to start. So they're starting with going within. They're looking at the candle. I don't know if you guys have heard, but candle gazing or staring at a fire pit and just watching the flames. It can be like a trance energy, and you can get ideas in that energy. So how can we better our finances? Justice. I just heard a windfall of money. I actually had a dream the other night. This was so strange. I had a dream that the hospital that my daughter was at, I should have a drink of coffee just for her. That the hospital that she was at, CHOP, I had a dream that I got a letter in the mail and they were paying me like millions of dollars because of like a malpractice or something. It was so bizarre. But in the dream, I was like, this is so cool. I'm like, I'm getting paid for the loss of my daughter. I'm like, oh, the pain I've experienced, it's like this big reward. You know what I mean? Like, I still have to wake up every single day and live without her. But to receive some sort of abundance from it and be like, all right, you've endured really tough times. Here's your windfall of money. I had that dream and I was like, holy shit. So this just reminded me of that. This is justice. Justice is you're getting what you deserve, the good that you deserve. And it's funny, this girl looks like my neighbor. She lives below me to the left. She's really nice. But yeah, the scales are balanced. You're getting your justice. All the pain that you've been through, your good is coming. Thought I heard somebody walking their dog. Ooh, the justice is a king of wands. So the person might be your happy ending. You getting the man of your dreams, the woman of your dreams, that is your justice. You've been through so much pain and suffering and they're finally going to show up. And this is like, to get a king, we could have gotten King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, but we got the King of Wands. He's filled with passion and love, and it's like this endless fire that burns between the both of you. So it's almost like two people that have gone without love their whole life. They're finally going to get together and get their justice and get to be together. And it's going to be this, because this is a relationship reading. It's going to be that equal partnership. It's like, you know how you have that dream about like the ultimate partnership and you're just like, I wonder if they exist. They do exist. And that's what's coming for you guys. So don't settle. Do not settle. Celebration. Heck yes. And Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords is kind of like cutthroat energy. She's like, they always say it's like the bitchy card. She tells you how it is. But she's also like very wise, and she's sitting up here and she's not going to make any like quick decisions. She's thinking it through. She's getting clarity before moving forward. So it's also somebody who is going to just be really honest. This new partnership, there's no wondering. You're never going to wonder how he or she feels. She will always be honest. And that's going to be a celebration for some of you because you've dealt with a lack of integrity, you've dealt with manipulation, you've dealt with lies, you've dealt with dishonesty, and just people just not telling you how they feel. And you always being like, I wonder what they're feeling. Am I in trouble? Like that eggshell energy. See ya. That is no longer here for you. You're finally going to be with the people that you can trust. And it's because of this honesty. It's pure honesty. And sometimes people come together with their twin, and one twin is really honest and the other has not learned the lesson yet. And they need their twin to pull it out of them, to teach them, to show them, to practice with them and let them know it's safe, because maybe they were honest before and the narcissist in their past diminished them for their honesty or sharing their feelings. So now they're terrified to even speak because of their past. So we have to be compassionate and understand when we're dealing with somebody who's avoiding and they're an anxious avoidant, we have to give them time and space to heal with us. And if somebody's not willing to do the work and heal, they're literally showing up and repeating the same behavior, excuse me, and they're not wanting, and they're not verbally saying like, I want to be better for you. I want to be better for myself. I want to be better for our partnership. If they're not saying that and then following up with action, then that's probably not the right partnership, because you want somebody who's consciously trying to be better. Because you didn't do all of this work to then go backwards, right? Let's get two more. I just heard two more. Three of Pentacles, collaboration energy. Three people working together to build something, to create something. This could be family energy, two parents and a child. This could be coworkers. This could be soul tribe. I just heard someone's going to be building a foundation or a nonprofit organization. And then I also just heard somebody else, these messages are specifically just for a few people. Somebody else is going to be creating some sort of school, some sort of outlet for people to go to hone their creativity. Last card. Whew. 10 of Swords. This is an ending. It's just like how we started this reading. The very first card we got was an ending to a new beginning. Somebody's walking away. They're following the call, just like I talked about with the Field of Dreams. The call is, and it could even be the call, C-A-W, of the crow. The crow is a messenger of spirit. When you see crows and you hear them calling at you, they're calling you to your soul's mission. They're saying, go this way, go the distance, just like in the movie. If you build it, they will come. So there's an ending because you're hearing the call. You know you're being called to go somewhere else, and you have to trust it. You have to take that leap, even when it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to build a baseball field in the middle of farmland. But he did it anyway. He followed the call and he lived a wonderful, fun life, as opposed to staying in your comfort zone, staying at a 9-to-5 job, staying in the toxic relationship, living with addictions and being miserable and being injured for the rest of your life. You don't want to live that life. And if you're hearing this and it's not you, right, who I'm talking to, it's somebody else in your life, all we can do is pray for them from a distance, send them good energy, say, universe, Archangel Michael, please help them become the person that can make the change. Please jump into their body and allow them to endure a tower moment. Allow their life to just shift one day, to move them to something better. And I said shift. Things are going to start to shift. Beware. It's going to be good though. We're going to follow our dreams. We're not going to settle. We're going to be the girl or guy that decided to go for it. So cheers. Cheers to Micah. Cheers to my dad. Cheers to all of your loved ones who've sacrificed their life here to make us better, to remind us of what's important in life. And what's important is that we do what we love and we go and be with people who are unconditionally loving to us. And we learn the lesson and we pull away from the toxicity and we say, I am done suffering. Change might be a little difficult, but I can do it with the right support, with the right people. And that's the thing. A lot of us think that we can't make these changes. I'm sure my dad thought he couldn't make these changes because he didn't know how. But we have so many resources now, and the universe brings us the people that we need when we need them. So please share this video with anybody you think might be going through this kind of transition, or they're scared to chase their dreams. Help remind them that it's not going to be an enjoyable life to stay where you are unhappy. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And we've seen people suffer. So let's not go through that again, and let's help our loved ones. Thank you so much for listening. This was an exciting reading. I love relationship readings. They're my favorite to do. I tend to attract twin flames in all of my readings. So if you feel called to book a reading with me, everything's in the description box below. I would love to bring you the messages that your partnership needs to grow and to expand to be the healthy, loving partnership it was meant to be. And it's not easy. We all have wounding and we all have trauma, but we can do it. We are capable of it. All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.